I'm Katie Darrell, and today we are at home and social with Ace Frehley of KISS. How are you, Ace?
Hi, Katie. It's a pleasure to be here on Access TV.
Right? I mean, listen, where are you right now? You're in New Jersey, right?
Yeah, I originally grew up in the Bronx, so I'm a native New Yorker. And like I said, about a year ago, I hooked up with an elementary school teacher in New Jersey, moved in with her and her two kids and a dog. And now I'm a New Jerseyite.
Look at that. Well, let me ask you this. I mean, you mentioned, on the dating scene, how does dating work for a mega rock star like you, sir? What is that like?
I met her name's Laura Cove, and I met her December 7th at a KISS convention in New Jersey that I was actually performing. It was the day before. I met her on the 7th, and on the 8th, I performed my whole 1978 studio album live. And, you know, there was like standing room only. It was the only time I've ever done that. And there might be a few videos of that floating around. But I should have recorded it with a real camera crew because, you know, I haven't done it since. But I met her the day before. She had a booth with these mugs, you know, and she painted, you know, one of me, Paul, Gene, and Peter, and she gave me this one. And
so that kind of was the gateway to
talking. She's very, very beautiful woman. We got to talk, and then she came to one of my shows subsequently, several months later, and one thing led to another. I don't think I need to go any further.
Hey, I just like the idea that like a normal person, an average Joe, has a chance to date someone as epic as you. So good for her, good for her. But you mentioned she's a school teacher. So what's the vibe in your guys' household in terms of COVID and her being creative and her being a school teacher and you wanting to get out on the road? What's COVID doing to your lives?
Well, you know, it's very stressful in schools right now. I mean, her daughter goes to a Catholic high school, you know, she's 17 and she's got to wear a mask and she's inside a plexiglass box, you know. Laura has to wear a mask all the time. You know, she works with the younger kids, elementary school. And she said it's tough, you know. I mean, we're all hoping and praying this will be over soon.
Yeah. Because
it's putting a strain on everybody. And, you know, now they're talking about rock concerts not happening for at least another year.
I know, all virtual. Going from the arena life to the I'm sitting at home by myself life. It's got to be a little disruptive, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm really excited because we just bought a 6,000 square foot house with a 3,000 square foot basement with 9-foot ceilings. So I'm going to build an amazing state-of-the-art recording studio there. And I'll be able to record my next several albums there. I just re-signed with E1 for 3 more albums. And, you know, there will be an Origins Volume 3.
Oh, awesome. Well, that's what I really want to talk to you about. So for those of you just joining us, I'm Katie Darrell, and he is Ace Frehley of KISS. We are at home and social. And Ace, you have a new album. It's coming out on September 18th. It's Origins Volume 2. These are epic covers of some fantastic songs. Give me the lowdown on this.
Well, I mean, the whole idea behind the Origins series is me recording songs by artists that influenced me as I was growing up as a teenager and learning how to play guitar, you know, so, you know, and I never took a guitar lesson. So, you know, guys like Eric Clapton, Jimmy Page, Jeff Beck, Jimi Hendrix, Pete Townsend, the list it goes on and on and on. I was at Led Zeppelin's first New York appearance at the Fillmore East. They were opening up for Iron Butterfly. I was, I think, 17 years old, 16 or 17. And after the Led Zeppelin went off, half the people left the Fillmore East. I felt so sorry embarrassed for the headliner because, I mean, you know, people usually come to see the headliner, not the opening act. But, you know, I think there was a real buzz in New York City about this new band, Led Zeppelin, and the word was out. and the Phil Maurice isn't that big a venue. So I think I noticed when I looked around, there was a lot of older people there, well-dressed. It wasn't the normal rock and roll crowd. So I think there was a lot of record executives and people in the music business that came to see them.
So on your new album, one of the songs you do cover is a Led Zeppelin song. It's Good Times, Bad Times. Tell me, who joins you on this song and what drew you to this Led Zeppelin song in particular? Because clearly there are a lot to choose from.
Well, Good Times, Bad Times opens up Led Zeppelin 1. And it's a great song. And a lot of the prerequisites of deciding which song I'm gonna do is whether or not I can sing it, because I'm not a virtuoso singer. I don't really consider myself a lead singer. I'm a guitar player first, producer, songwriter, and I sing out of necessity. I have limited range. That's why a lot of times I like to do Rolling Stones songs, because Jagger kind of talks his way through songs, you know. But when it came to 30 Days in the Hole, Steve Marriott, I said, there's no way I'm going to be able to sing that. So I called up Robin Zander from Cheap Trick, and he just killed it. So, you know, the fun about doing these records, you know, with other people's material is, you know, picking the right people for, you know, if I can't sing this song, I got Lita Ford to do Jumpin' Jack Flash. I mean, I think I could have sang it, but I like the idea of having a girl sing it.
Sure, and Lita's fantastic.
Lita's like my sister, and she comes over to the house and spends a weekend. I've known Lita since the Runaways, because they used to open up for Kiss. And we've been friends.
Oh yeah, no, I've interviewed Lita a couple times for our show on Access TV, The Top 10 Revealed, and she has shared some stories from the road, being out there with Kiss when the Runaways. And I always love when she talks about like the debauchery and how it was visually there, but like no one was really participating in it. It's fun stories of her being like, oh yeah, Gene would have girls in the room, but like wouldn't be doing anything, or there'd be booze and no one was drinking it. And she's like, so us Runaway gals would run in there and steal the booze from the boys.
You know, it was so different back then. You know, I mean, I remember hanging out with the New York Dolls. You know, I was really good friends with Arthur Kane. And every time I was around Arthur, you know, Arthur drank Colt 45 malt liquor, you know, the 16-ounce can.
Oh, yeah.
So every time me and Arthur got together, we got a couple of 6-packs of those 16-ounce cans and downed them, you know, and got stupid. He was just a wonderful human being. I can't believe he died so young, you know, and he had gotten sober. You know, I got sober 14 years ago, but he got sober, and all of a sudden, he gets leukemia. What a nightmare.
Absolutely, what a loss.
Yeah.
This album, Origins Volume 2, we talked about there's a lot of great songs on it that you're covering, and a lot of guest stars. You mentioned Lita Ford as one of them. John 5, what track is John 5 doing with you on this one?
Well, John plays on 2 songs. He plays the guitar solo in my newest single, I'm Down, the Beatles song, which is the B-side, which was recorded. I didn't realize it was from 1965. I didn't really realize it was that old. How many years ago is that?
Don't make me do math. I didn't say I was doing math today.
I think it's 60 years ago, 65 years ago, whatever. To make a long story short, I got John to come over because he worked on Origins Volume 1 with me. And he's a good friend, great musician. He's much more talented, versatile than me. You know, he can play country, he can, you know, he's a studio musician. Whereas I'm self-taught, never took a guitar lesson. But, you know, usually when I work with John, he's very fast. We get it in 1 or 2 takes. And the other song John plays on is Politician by Cream. And we did a really long extended guitar solo, and we're playing simultaneously. And if you listen to it with headphones, we're cross-fading the solos. So it's like, you know, going across your brain. If you have headphones on, and the solos came out great. We did it in 1 take.
Weird, freaky side question. In talking with John 5, he has said that his left hand is bigger than his right hand from practicing so much as a kid. Do you have that same quality? Is your left hand bigger than your right hand because you play guitar so much?
I don't know. What do you think? But
How big are your hands, Ace?
I have simian palms. You see the line that goes straight across?
Oh, yeah.
Less than 5% of the people on the planet have that. Most people split. Let me see your palms.
All right, here's mine. Mine's split.
Yeah, mine goes straight across.
Look at that.
Actually, Paul Stanley has one. But if you look it up online, like Robert De Niro has it, Tony Blair, who used to be the Prime Minister of England, has it. I have 163 IQ. So
Nice.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and play. We do a game here. It's called Rock and Tell. It is like show and tell, but with rock memorabilia. For those of you just joining us, I'm Katie Darrell. He is Ace Frehley of KISS. What can you show us today?
Well, this is my favorite Les Paul, and this is an exact copy of my 1959 Les Paul that I bought.
Oh, can you hold it up a little bit higher for us?
And this one was made by the custom shopping, by Gibson Custom Shop. And if you look at it, you can see that it's aged. And they aged the guitars, and they make everything's nickel silver, but it looks old.
Right.
If you look at the back, you see scratches here.
And is this your favorite guitar?
Well, they gave me 12.
Woo!
I
It's
came
nice
home.
to be you.
I was in Vegas with my girlfriend, and we came home, and there was 12 Les Pauls in my lobby of our penthouse, and I opened them up, and I lined them all up and took pictures of them.
Wow.
And I played them all, and this was the best sounding one. So a lot of I sold a bunch of them. People give me $50,000 a piece for them.
Wow.
I just sold the guitar the other day, and I took the money, and I'm buying a Jaguar, and I'm going to Kentucky this weekend to pick it up.
Isn't that nice?
I have like 75 guitars. So one guitar less here or there. If what would you rather have? A
Right.
double neck or a Jaguar XK 2015, which is the last year they made it in mint condition.
Well, it's funny. I did an interview like this with Bruce Kulick, and he had all his guitars laid out, and it was like a maze. I mean, truly, there were so many. He was stepping over them. There's an abundance of guitar wealth in his house.
Yeah, I used to have 150. That was about my limit. And then when I left KISS, I sold a lot of them because there were some lean years there before I started touring and put together Frehley's Comet. But right now I have about 75, and
Hey,
but there's
that's about 74 more than me. But all right, let's continue.
There's about 10 that I use. I use repeatedly. I use for recording my favorites.
Sure. The sound you can trust, right?
Yeah. Well,
what else do you have? I know you were showing us the cup that your girlfriend made for you. Do you have any other rock and tell items?
I've had about 6 studios. Every time I move someplace, I build a home studio, whether it be in a spare bedroom or a basement or whatever. But I always hang this above the toilet.
Ah, that's nice.
So it's kind of a vintage picture of girls that's been colorized in bathing suits. So when, it's above the toilet, so when guys are taking a leak, they can stare at this picture and do something, they'll do whatever they want. I don't know.
Yeah, your bathroom decor. I love it. I'd also like to ask you about some rock and roll firsts, if you don't mind. In terms of when it came to KISS, what was the first time you ever heard your song on the radio?
Well, when the first album came out, I remember driving in the Bronx on the Grand Concourse in my friend's GTO, and one of our songs came on the radio, and it was just like, wow. I got so excited. I remember going to Alexander's on Fordham Road in the Bronx and buying my album and looking at it going, wow, my album's actually in the bin. I've made it,
And what about, there's so much memorabilia with your face on it, and I'm sure you've been given so much, but there's a lot of illegal stuff and a lot of things that you didn't even know existed. What was the first piece of memorabilia with your face on it that you personally purchased, said, oh, I need that?
I never had to purchase our memorabilia. It was always given to me. I have boxes and boxes filled with memorabilia, you know, but I mean, one of the reasons I left the group, I mean, there were several reasons I left KISS in 1981. But one of the reasons was the fact that I really think Gene got carried away with the merchandising, and it kind of took away from the music, you know. I was talking to somebody earlier today, and they said, what's the one item of KISS merchandise that you are least unhappy with? And I said, well, recently my friend Vinnie Paul passed away.
Yeah.
You know, Dimebag's brother.
Yep. Oh, I know Vinnie.
I had to speak at the funeral, and then, you know, I didn't realize that we went outside to lower the casket, and of course he's in a KISS casket, and my face is on the KISS casket, and I felt uncomfortable. I thought it was inappropriate. I don't think, you know.
Yeah.
My face should be on a KISS casket, you know.
That's a conversation starter, right?
You know what? I remember my manager Bill O'Coin after a while saying to me, because you know we had the dolls and we had all these toys, and our audience started getting younger, and parents started bringing their kids, and Bill O'Coin said to me, "Hey, cool it with the cursing, because there's like young kids in the front row."
Like that's it's rock and roll, bro.
I had to curtail my personality.
So here
we were making a ton of money, but you know, money isn't everything in life.
No. So here on Access TV, we have a show that I host called The Top 10 Revealed. Each week we look at a different list and count down songs on it. So it could be top 10 songs about going crazy, or top 10 70s breakup songs. And we have a list coming up this season, and it's top 10 destination songs. And no surprise, Detroit Rock City makes the list. You know, what's the story behind this song and your relationship with Detroit?
Well, a lot of people in the early days used to think we were a Detroit band because we were headlining Cobo Hall, which is a 12,000 seat auditorium. And at that point in time, we were still playing in New York and California, 25 to 3,000 seat theaters. So, you know, a lot of people's mindset was saying these guys must be from Detroit because they're headlining in Detroit.
Yeah.
Now, we spent a lot of time in Detroit because Detroit is centrally located in the United States. And we kind of used to base out of Detroit when we were touring. So,
it is a classic song. The guitar solo is epic in it. The love for Detroit can be heard in it. People really, you know, grasp onto it. So now going back to the original question of, you know, let's talk about other songs that have cities or state in it. Let me just ask you, which do you prefer if you had to pick? Do you like London Calling by The Clash, or do you like Africa by Toto? Which do you like more?
I like Kansas by Toto.
I'm Katie Darrell. He is Ace Frehley. We are at home and social. Before I let you go, I want to just make sure everyone understands that you have a new album out. That's right. Coming September 18th. It's The Origins Volume 2. You cover some fantastic songs, including Lola by The Kinks, We Gotta Get Out of This Place by The Animals, I'm Down by The Beatles, which is the single that you just released the other week. What have you been hearing from your friends and your fans about this album?
Well, everybody who's heard it loves it. And I have to honestly say, I've done about 100 interviews now, including you. And
101.
I would say about 75% of the interviewers think that Origins Volume 2 is a better record. So I'm just hoping the fans will agree with them. You know, I put a lot of time and effort into it. I even got Laura to sing on Lola with me, because originally my old girlfriend, whose name I'm not going to mention because she doesn't deserve it, and she had sang the harmonies on Lola, and then I ended up erasing it around Christmas time, and Laura sang on it because she's got a great voice too, besides being an elementary school teacher and a painter, and it came out great. And I'm real happy with the way it turned out. And, you know, Somebody said to me, the sexual connotations, back when Lola first came out, I don't think it went as high on the charts as it would have because of the subject matter. Today, nobody cares. If you're in the closet, you're out of the closet, you're standing next to the closet. Nobody cares anymore.
Yeah, it's basically old news now, right? Be what you're gonna be.
If it feels good, do it.
If it feels good, just do it. All right. Well, thank you, Ace. I really appreciate you hanging out with me. Make sure you watch the top 10 reveal to see the Destination List song, and good luck with the album. I'm really looking forward to it coming out.
Thank you so much. It was great talking to you. Kate.
Yes.